We are grateful for everyone who is here tonight. Excited to introduce Dr. Mary Osborne, Director of the Stewart House Museum, zooming in live from Monmouth. So thanks, Oz, for giving Denise and I a break tonight. We are excited for your program, Best Friends and Blooms. So take it away.
Great. Thanks, Kylie. March is a transitional time for the gardens at the Stewart House. Early in the month, it still feels like and looks like winter, but by the end of the month, it's possible to see some of the first signs of spring. I typically spend this month deciding what will be planted in the kitchen garden as well as in the various containers around the property. The kitchen garden was one of the first outdoor spaces that was entirely within my purview. I've planted and cultivated vegetables, including carrots and beets, as well as herbs. The vegetables have all been heirloom varieties that the Stewarts might have grown. I've also taken care to choose plants that can thrive in the clay soil of Monmouth and tolerate the dry conditions that often appear during the growing season. The containers or planters located around the property allow me to exercise some creativity. I typically source the plants from retailers such as Menards and Lowe's, as well as from local nurseries, and some seed companies as well. And I try to adapt to the changing seasons. So if you visit in the spring, you may notice an entirely different color palette than if you arrive in the fall. Some of the planters are located near the front and back entrances. So it's important to make a good impression for our visitors by choosing plants that are differing heights and whose colors complement one another. There's an art to flower arranging, in fact, that Minnie Stewart and her contemporaries would have known. Part of flower arranging involves understanding the language of flowers or florography. The first printed accounts of florography appeared in the US in 1827. These books contain lists of flowers and their corresponding meanings. Sometimes guides also offered suggestions for flower arrangements based on a season or life event. Let's take the iris, for example. Its English name is derived from the Greek and means rainbow. The Greek goddess Iris acted as a messenger of the gods and as a liaison between heaven and earth. Purple irises were often planted upon the graves of women so that the goddess Iris could escort the newly departed to the afterlife. Over time, the iris has come to be associated with wisdom, hope, and faith. To use an example closer to home, the Monmouth newspapers reported the types of flowers displayed at the weddings of Minnie's nieces, Lucretia and Isabel, who married in 1908. The living room, or west parlor as it was known then, was bedecked in fern and white and blush roses for Lucretia's wedding. Fern symbolizes fascination. White roses indicate worthiness, while blush roses send the message, if you love me, you will find it out. Orange blossoms were also a traditional choice for a wedding. They are said to represent fertility, purity, and good fortune. As an aside, I thought it was interesting that Isabel and her fiance Louis entered the West Parlor unaccompanied. So, when planning the kitchen garden, I consider the meanings of those flowers too. With several seasons of experience now, I can say that growing flowers is much less time consuming than taking care of vegetables. Plus, I am adding pollinators to the landscape. The flowers are also visually appealing to our neighbors. Next to the kitchen garden's fence, I have sown a mixture of cosmos and zinnias. Cosmos symbolize order, harmony, and balance. Zinnias stand for friendship, endurance, and lasting affection. I like to think that both flowers remind us of the relationship among the founders. The zinnias and cosmos are in various shades of purple, pink, and white. They grow several feet and are supported by the fence that surrounds the kitchen garden. They are also clearly visible from the sidewalk, so passersby can enjoy them. In other sections of the garden, I have planted bee balm and marigolds. These are also hardy pollinators. The bee balm is an example of a perennial. Not only do these flowers thrive in poor soil, but they last throughout the season. Along the side of the garden by the garage, I have always grown borage. Borage is an example of an edible plant. Its blue, star-shaped flowers can be consumed. What's more, they also attract pollinators. And these plants do well in all types of soil and conditions, particularly wet conditions. When it rains, that area of the kitchen garden always becomes saturated, but the borage holds up in those conditions. Finally, there are two planters in the garden that I typically fill with a variety of herbs. These are usually examples of medicinal herbs that the Stewarts might have used. One goal that I have with the kitchen garden is to present it as an extension of the museum itself. This space provides educational opportunities to discuss the practice of medicine in the 19th century, as well as nutrition and horticulture. Before we converted the side yard to a kitchen garden, the Stewart family used this space for their pets. The earliest evidence we have of animals living at 1015 East Euclid, Reno Street back then, is from 1885. According to an article in the Evening Gazette, Judge James Stewart, that's Minnie Stewart's father, had taken custody of a dog that had once belonged to a Mr. Loosley, who shot off his hand. And this may have been one of Mr. Stewart's clients. We don't know. But this noble dog was held in high favor by the Stewarts. The canine played a part in saving his former master's life. Another breed accustomed to dangerous situations is the Airedale Terrier. Originally from Yorkshire, England, the Airedale is descended from the Welsh Terrier and the Otterhound, among other breeds. Airedales are known as the king of terriers since they are the largest breed of this type. They are excellent sporting dogs and hunters. In the 1880s, Airedale enthusiasts introduced the dogs to the U.S. They've been prized for their intelligence and courage. The terriers carried messages and mail during World War I, and the Red Cross trained them to find injured soldiers. After the war, Airedale's skills continued to be in high demand. Collaborating with the police force, railroad companies employed the dogs to guard their property against vagrants. In 1922, the Monmouth Daily Atlas reprinted a story about Apache French, an Airedale who donated blood to save the life of Major, a Boston Bull Terrier. The article claims that this was the first blood transfusion performed on a dog, but I haven't verified that. Even President Warren G. Harding had an Airedale named Laddie Boy. The breed's reputation continued to rise, becoming the most popular breed in the U.S. during the 1920s. And it is said that Laddie Boy was the first dog to gain a lot of publicity. So he's the originator of all the first family pets. Now, Minnie's niece Lucretia and her husband, William Weir, owned an Airedale named Pal. Author Albert Payson Terhune once described the Airedale as swift, formidable, graceful, big of brain, an ideal chum and guard. To his master, he is an adoring pal. Perhaps this was the quote that inspired the Stewarts, or the Weirs rather, dog's name. Terhune is best known for his story Lad, which is about a collie, but he also wrote about other breeds as well. Later, the Weirs appear to have owned at least one shepherd, if not more. On the left, that is Mary Weir Huff, and she is about 16 in the photo on the left. And then on the right, she is about 25, when that photo was taken. So it looks as if those are two different shepherds. Anyway, that's my best guess.
And
Now,
how is she related to Minnie? Is she the grand
oh,
niece of Minnie?
that's right. That's right. Mary Weir was Lucretia Stewart Weir's daughter, and that making her Minnie Stewart's great niece. Yep. Now, one second, because I have to tell you about the latest furry friend to occupy the Stewart House Museum, and that is our official mascot, Harry. Come here, buddy. Come here. Harry, look. Harry was taking a nap. He worked so hard. He had a big day. Harry, come here. You want this? So this is our official mascot. This is my dog, Harry. I rescued Harry 4 years ago. from a shelter outside Peoria. And he was just a year old at the time, so he'll be 5 in July. His records indicate that he was removed from a hoarding situation in Tennessee and then transferred to the shelter outside of Peoria because it looked as if he had a good chance of being adopted up here. The shelter told me that he was a Chihuahua mix, but I've always believed he may have some Chihuahua, but I have always believed him to be a rat terrier, in part because he is from the South, and rat terriers were a mix of several breeds, including the Whippet, Smooth Fox Terrier, and others. They're bred to kill vermin, including and to tree squirrels, and became popular in the US in the 1920s and 30s. Harry does enjoy stalking squirrels and birds. Yes, yes, you do. Now, although rat terriers possess lively, happy-go-lucky personalities, they also enjoy lounging around. Proof positive right here. Harry loves a nap, and Harry excels in all of those things, but his favorite activity is going on WALKS's. Um, and from time to time, you may see him on our social media pages because he has to work for his treats. So well, maybe he'll sit and be good for a second. But I want to show everybody this video, or maybe Kylie can press play. But we did a short video for his birthday, and I will occasionally feature dog-friendly recipes. So we can go ahead and.
All right.
That was for his 4th birthday. I made him some dog-friendly pancakes with PEANUTBUTTER. Harry's very smart, and if I were to say that, I would have to deliver. So we can skip ahead to we don't have to watch the whole thing, but yeah, I think if you go to the middle. The first part of the video is me describing making the egg cream. It's a combination of milk and carob. Carob is safe for dogs because they can't consume chocolate. It has a theobromine in it, which is poisonous.
Sorry.
Oh, that's okay.
Microwave safe bowl, and I just used about a 1/4 cup of kefir. Okay, so you'll set that bowl with the kefir and the carob chips aside, and then you're going to want to froth the milk. So each milk frother is different. I used the minimum amount required to froth the milk in my frother, and just set it for its preferred setting and let it do its thing. And once that's ready, we're going to top the kefir and carob chip mixture with the frothed milk.
There was a moment here. There we go.
Instead of pouring the frothed milk directly on top of the carob and kefir mixture, I chose to spoon some on top. So I ended up not using the entire amount of frothed milk, but you can do whatever you would like. And in the next clip, you will see Harry's reaction to his dog-friendly version of an egg cream. I had a little bit of difficulty managing the camera and trying to set the bowl down in front of Harry, and he knows to sit when he is about to be fed, so he's being a very good boy here. He's had kefir before, so I was fairly certain that he would like it. To my knowledge, he's never had carob in any form, but he is a rescue dog, so I can't say that with 100% certainty, but as you can tell from the way that he devoured the egg cream, he loved it. I'm not sure how much he tasted. He is not a picky eater. but have some fun with making this recipe and see if your dogs will enjoy it as much as Harry did. So, in the future episodes of Front Porch Friday, I hope to have some more bonus content with Harry and just look for him on all the museum's social media. So, take care, everybody.
So now I thought I would open it up to Q&A. If you have any questions for Harry, I'm sure he'd be glad to answer them.
Well, I was going to say I was disappointed at that Front Porch Friday because you didn't have a cocktail for humans, but the Harry content made up for it. It was
Okay.
okay.
Yes, Mary Kate.
Where does Harry like to go on WALKS? Does he go on the campus at
We
Monmouth?
we do go on campus. In fact, the actives in the Monmouth chapter in Alpha Deuteron have met Harry several times. He soaks up all the attention. He's kind of famous around the neighborhood. Um, and so we walk the perimeter of campus. We stay in my neighborhood too. So yeah, he's out and about. Yeah, okay.
Does Harry know any Kappa ritual?
No, Harry is not an initiated member, so we want to be respectful of that. So,
Understood.
no.
My other favorite piece of bonus content is when we got a vest and a GoPro for him and he refused to move.
That's right.
Laid down in the grass and flipped over. So I think that's on Stewart House Facebook and Instagram. So
It is. I forgot to pull that. That one is pretty
if
funny.
you want to look for Harry's refusal, he shall not be used for museum tours, apparently.
Does he stay in the yard at the Stewart House? Is there I don't recall like a fenced portion, or does he have
Oh
electric
no,
fence?
I would never let him out into the kitchen garden because if he were to see a squirrel or a rabbit or something, it would be game over. Um, And I would be afraid that he would run into the street too, since that is closer to Euclid. No, when he goes out, he always goes out on his with his harness when he's at work. I have a
At
fenced in
work.
backyard, and
Mhm,
I could let him out at home.
mhm.
MK.
Mhm.
What's the coolest thing Harry has found in the yard at the Stewart House?
Oh, that's a loaded question. I uh probably a cat. He is Harry is very protective of the property and feels that he must chase away all intruders. At my house, he has captured and devoured several birds, like starlings. So
Uh-oh.
he's ruthless.
Other questions for Dr. Oz?
All right, Harry, you're free to go now. Okay.
Thank
Thanks,
you for
Harry.
such a great program, Oz. You do so much work with, and I know you have help too, but with the grounds and everything always looks so gorgeous. So thanks for giving us a review of that. And keep an eye on the Stewart House socials because as things come into bloom, it is amazing. It just is really cool. I love when I get to be there in the spring. So thank you, Dr. Oz. Let's real quick while we're recording, because I forgot to do it last time. I think we stopped the recording. Our next month's episode is still the Dr. Oz show. Denise and I will help a little bit more with that one. But do you want to remind us of the title for that one? Do we have a slide for it? I don't remember.
We do not, but I can tell you that it is Curious Callings and Extraordinary Life Paths. So we're going to be talking about Kappas who had maybe kind of unusual careers. But I'm excited. I'm excited for this one because there's new research, some people that you have not heard about. I promise Dr. Crawford will not make an appearance.
Well, and this came out of when we did Innovate Kappa Innovators.
That's where it started. And
There
then
were
some of it
so
is
many people that just had really cool jobs, and Oz was
mhm.
like, "Can we do something about that?" So
It started
that'll be
there, and
fun.
then I have an article coming out in the next issue of the Key, and so some of the people who were a part of Beekman Tower will also be part of this upcoming presentation.
Yes. Very cool. Yes, Merle, the goal is for these invitations and notices to go out. They're also on the Kappa website calendar. And so folks can sign up for all of them now. So you can sign up ahead month to month. Though I say that now, we only have through May. So we'll take a break in June, July, and August. We'll probably be back in September, but people can look ahead and sign up and register for those. But the invitation should be coming out from the ritual and history specialists. So thank you, Oz.